PokeRamble Podcast.
Welcome to episode 32 of the PokeRamble Podcast. We'll be talking about Palentine's Day and what it is. We'll be talking about all manners of Pokemon Go news, and we'll also be talking about Diamond and Pearl remakes. Welcome to episode 32 of the PokeRamble Podcast. I'm your host Kamal, and joined with me as always is Amit, the Battle Frontier brain himself.
Happy Nidoran Day.
Hang on a minute, haven't we already been here? Is this like Groundhog Day?
This is Nidoran male.
Oh, I see.
We did Nidoran female, Nidorina and Nido Queen, and now we're doing Nidoran male.
I'm glad we got here. I didn't think we'll get here, but we're here.
Dude, episode 32.
Question, what design do you like better, the male Nidoran or the female Nidoran?
I personally prefer male Nidoran, but prefer Nido Queen to Nido King.
Seriously?
Yes.
Okay, hang on, let's have a little talk about it in that case. Nido. Actually, we'll wait till episode Nido King. Someone remind me.
Alright, I'll remind you. When I bring up episode Nido King, we'll talk about why I prefer Nido Queen to Nido King.
Cool. Apart from that, everything okay?
Yeah, it's been actually a very interesting week in terms of news.
I think more for merchandise rather than actual news itself.
Lots of rumors flying around that we'll get into later in the episode.
Oh, I'm not in the know about these rumors.
It's all right. I got all the content ready to talk about.
Wow. Well, it's nice that one of us has come prepared. But yeah, no. Apart from that, it's been all right week for me. A lot of recording content and whatnot, but I'm looking forward to speaking about some Pokemon.
As am I.
So should we just get
let's get into it.
So I don't have a name for this first section, but you were talking to me earlier, and you said something that blew my mind. What's this about Diamond and Pearl?
Okay, so the news this week comes to you courtesy of the same person who leaked the story about, and I'm just going to look this up to make sure I get his name right. But basically, someone who has previously made leaks about the Pokemon series and particularly the Sword and Shield games.
Oh, is this about the Galarian Mr. Mime?
Yeah, that was it. The person who on 4chan released Galarian Mr. Mime is saying that Diamond and Pearl remakes may come with Let's Go catching mechanics.
Oh no.
So are we going to see something akin to Let's Go Time and Let's Go Space Diamond and Pearl remakes in the Let's Go format?
Let's go time! Let's go! No, please God, no. Oh no. Oh, wow. Wait, so hang on, let me just get this right. So instead of it being actual like full scale remakes, it'll be more of a Let's Go sort of remake instead.
So there's nothing really other than the news that, and bear in mind that this leak is from 2019, so it was October 2019, so it's now well over 15 months old.
Yeah.
And could have moved on since then, but at the time the claim was that the Diamond and Pearl remakes were going to have Let's Go catching mechanics. Now that doesn't mean that other aspects of the game are going to be scaled down or pulled back in any way.
Are you saying it's more of a choice, or is it?
Well, I talked about this on the last episode, is that Diamond and Pearl were the first games that, other than, Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald didn't have the physical special split, but Diamond and Pearl were really the first games in the Pokemon series where all of the core mechanics, physical special split, the majority of types, bar theory, core, the real core mechanics were all kind of there and present. And I feel like a Diamond and Pearl remake has got to do something very, very special to be a significant improvement on the original. And I know they'll update the graphics, and I know they could change the story slightly, but unlike, the Fire Red, Leaf Green games that we got for Red and Blue way back when, the Let's Go games for Generation 1 were a significant improvement on Fire Red and Leaf Green. And for those people whose last trip to Kanto was Fire Red, Leaf Green, or even Heart Gold, Soul Silver, it's a very full and rich experience
I
compared to
had a
what you would
debate
have got
about
back
this
then.
because when you say it's a significant upgrade, I guess seeing the world in a new light, a different art style and whatnot. But I genuinely don't think that catching mechanics were better than the core mainline
So
series.
I'm not questioning whether the upgrades were better or worse. But you can't play Let's Go and compare it to the experience of Fire Red Leaf Green in almost any way.
You could.
Like the world looks fundamentally, enhanced. The combat system is different. There's physical special split. I know there's fewer moves, but
how different apart from Mega Evolutions, I guess, and like there being like absurdly broken moves. I guess
there was the concept of co-op battles, so you could play with a partner. There was the concept of actually Pokemon had different move sets, so they redid some of the move sets. That there were tweaks, and I'm not saying it was a fundamentally different concept, but there was enough going for it that it felt very, very fresh. And critics,
I think
critics by and large said it felt like a very fresh experience.
Yes.
And I know that Diamond and Pearl is a long time in the past at this point.
Yeah.
Coming up to what must be sort of 12 years at this point, but it's not. Those games are still very playable today.
Yeah.
In a way that certainly Red and Blue aren't, and to an extent, Fire Red and Leaf Green weren't. In that you couldn't really give those to someone new to the series today and say, "Play this, it'll be awesome." Whereas I feel like
that's where I disagree, but I can definitely see why you would pick Let's Go to introduce someone into the franchise rather than Fire Red and Leaf Green.
Right?
Yeah.
I feel like one of the reasons why we think of those games as being so good is there is a nostalgia factor in there. And those games have aged, right? And it's hard nowadays to sell those games as a new experience to someone when the baseline standard of fresh content is so much higher.
Yeah, I can see your point.
I think although Sword and someone did a fantastic job on Reddit this week where they posted the map of Unova in the style of Sword and Shield. So basically, the Sword and Shield map.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
The Sword and Shield map has got all the routes numbered, and all the cities are big blocks. And the Unova map in that same style, there were more than twice as many routes, more than I think 1.5 times the number of cities, way more hidden locations, and just the depth and richness of that map compared to Sword and Shield shows off just how kind of not backwards, but how little content there was in Sword and Shield.
It's been that thing. Game. It's been that thing with the switch to 3D. Is that routes are not as how do I explain this? But the routes are not as rich in depth, like you say, compared to the 2D games.
They're not as diverse. They're not as long.
They've never been able to address that issue. Like you said, yeah. When you convert it, it's a lot harder to do. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah. Well, the sense of scale is really difficult because you want routes that feel special and different every time. But that takes a lot of memory and time to develop, and it's intense, right? And you want, particularly in a 3D world, not just the routes got to look good, but the background's got to look good, and the everything surrounding that route's got to look good too. The transition in between. Whereas on a top-down Pokemon game, you really only got to deal with at most 20 tiles on screen at any one time.
Yeah, the designing seems a lot more easier, doesn't it?
Much more controlled. And the point I was trying to make is that I think what is really emphasized in that Galar region is that even though there's fewer routes, the depth and the quality of that world is what stands it out compared to like some of the routes in Unova, which are literally, just a bridge. Whereas the bridge in Galar, the one that goes east out of Motorstoke City, you're looking out over a wild area that is very rich and very diverse, and the camera's not shy to show you the hammerlock in the background, and it's a much more impressive.
So you're arguing more of the sort of aesthetic.
Yeah, and there's a step up in quality there that I think anyone who's never played a Pokemon game before may look at that and appreciate it and almost expect it, rather than going back and playing an older game where you just don't get that quality of experience. I think as much because so much of it is left to the imagination. And unfortunately, we live in a world now where we ask video games to do a lot of that imagination work for us.
Oh man, you've just said something so profound, and I love it. I could hug you, dude. Honestly, wow.
Sometimes I say clever things.
Do you know that meme? Like, oh, you hate to see it. The person you hate the most made the greatest point ever. It's like basically that. Oh, wow.
I actually read that thought. I read about a month ago a really interesting article by someone who went back and played Pokemon Crystal
Mm-hmm.
and just talked about how much of that game doesn't hold up over time, because as a child, when you're going through Ilex Forest, for example, um, it feels creepy and it feels, claustrophobic because you're a child and you're in this very tight space, and actually there are only 30, 40 trees in the forest, but because
Oh, they feel
you're in
like
a very
hundreds, don't they?
yeah, but because you're in a very small screen, everything happening in that forest around you is left to the imagination.
Yes.
And when you start living in a 3D world, the imagination doesn't do it anymore, because you can see what's behind the first row of trees, and you couldn't in the 2D top down games. So it's a big step up in terms of the visual experience, and that's a great thing. But it comes sometimes at a compromise for the creativity and the atmosphere that actually in the early games the Pokemon Company or Game Freak just kind of said, here's the core. You guys imagine the rest of it yourselves.
I can't believe we've gone down this route where we've completely just like ignored the main topic and have gone down a different route.
I think it ties into the topic really well, because I feel like Diamond and Pearl, as an experience, is still very playable today.
Yeah.
And so to take it into the Let's Go world, where they're offering an opportunity for people who've never played Diamond and Pearl to have a slightly more accessible version of the game to play, is probably a good marketing technique.
I don't even think the catching mechanics are accessible in terms of like.
So don't get me wrong. The catching mechanics in Let's Go suck.
Yeah.
Right? They're awful.
And let me just disclaim this: like, it's a neat idea. It can be hugely frustrating at times and stuff like that, but give people a choice, I'd say, in relation to that.
And that's exactly what I was going to say. And actually, to be fair, the handheld catching mechanics aren't awful, but the only thing I don't like, honestly, the only thing I don't like about the Let's Go series is the catching mechanics. Take that out of the game for a second, and actually, I think you've got a really good game.
Yes.
Like, the world looks good, the story's updated and is nice. I like that Blue's there. I like that there's lots happening in the world. They've tweaked bits of the story. They've made it a little bit easier to navigate around the map.
I think you were saying that the Let's Go franchise is like alternative universe to the original Red and Blue, which is really cool.
I'm totally fine with it, and that's why I feel like a Diamond Pearl experience for people who haven't played Diamond and Pearl before might want something a little bit more accessible than perhaps what Diamond and Pearl was when it came out. Look, this is all speculation based on a rumor from 2019.
Yeah.
The guy got a number of things right, but you know what? The world could well have moved on. The feedback from Let's Go could have changed that artistic direction, and we may not get Let's Go Diamond and Pearl games anyway.
Yeah. I'm really glad that they didn't push it out in 2020 if that guy's correct, because it was a really good idea, I think, to focus on the DLC and give that more light. And do you know how we're talking about this sort of the depth of the 2D games compared to the depth we get in the 3D games, and how there's something missing in between? Maybe it's not such a bad idea that we get these Diamond and Pearl remakes, because if they can take that base game with the 2D roots and stuff like that and try and figure out how they can fit all that into a 3D environment, it could be a masterstroke, really, couldn't it?
Yeah, it could. I mean, one of the things that I remember when I first started playing Let's Go Eevee a couple of months ago is there's a shot as you're leaving Pallettown. There is a camera angle that shows you basically all of Route 1, and you can see Viridian City on the far side. And it just made Route 1 feel a lot smaller in a way that when I played the first game, that first trek, when I played Red or Blue, to trying to navigate Pidgeys and Rattatas to get to the city, it feels longer than it looks, particularly with that shot. And there's a real challenge, I think, with 3D Pokemon games, because you reduce the amount of imagination. You've got to make the experience that much better, and that's hard.
Yeah.
That's hard.
I guess the other thing with Sword and Shield, I'm going back to this 3D 2D point, is like some of the cities in that game were just sparse. You know, there was nothing there, and so again with a remake, they could probably take whatever is in the cities in Diamond and Pearl, like Snow Point City, for example, and make it a bigger, more complete experience. Yeah, I mean, like Clark's just saying that he wants to see a remake of Platinum, and I think they'll do the same thing they did with Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, where they'll rework the story a bit. You know, like Looker example was added in Platinum, I believe, and like you'll have Cynthia involved a lot more, like Steven was in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, and that would be really good. But hey, it's all speculation at the moment. We don't know what's happening.
Yeah,
we might be getting this like brand new Pokemon game full stop. You know, it doesn't necessarily.
I can't imagine we're more than with the anniversary. 27th of February. We can't be more than a month away now from an announcement.
Yeah, no, I think we're definitely going to see what's next in the Pokemon franchise next month. And you know what? I see it coming out this year, but if they say, guys, we can't give it to you this year, it's going to come next year, I'll be even happier, because I know if they say that, I'll know that they are trying to figure out these issues and trying to get something.
Given it's the 25th anniversary, I can't see them not putting out
some sort of game. Yeah. Who knows? But they've been working on it a lot longer than they usually do, so that's a positive sign at the very least. But yeah, I guess we could just move on. But yeah, the sort of rumor we've heard now is that Diamond and Pearl might have Let's Go catching mechanics, and whether or not that equates to Diamond and Pearl being a sort of Let's Go game, or if that equates to it being a mainline series game, well, playing like a mainline series game, but just with a different way to capture Pokemon. Who knows? We'll find out soon. But with that, we shall do what, Amit? What shall we do?
Should we move on?
We'll move on. This is the part of the show where I ask you one question. What's Pokemon going on?
I don't know. What is going on?
Oh, what's going on is... There's a Rocket Celebration event coming on, I think it's the 7th? February 2nd to the February 7th, and basically new Shadow Pokemon appearing. So these Shadow Pokemon will be Swinub, Nosepass, Aron, Spheal, Lileep, Anorith, and more. So yeah, what's actually really weird about this is that you would have thought that so this Rocket Celebration means like there'll be more Rocket Grunts featuring events. There'll be more spawns of Golbats, Coughings, Ariodoses, Squirrelfishes, Sneasels, Houndours, Nuzleafs, Stunkies, Scorupies, and Venipedes. So the usual grunt Pokemon that you would come across in the mainline games. There'll be like different tasks. There'll be Quillfish, Larvitar, Coalfish, Absol, Skorupi, Sandile, Scraggy, Pawniard, and Dino in Strange Eggs, which are like these 12 km eggs that drop from Rocket Bosses. But yeah, there'll be more like Team Rocket grunts and stuff spawning in the wild, so you get to face them a lot more often. But what's really strange is that we still haven't got another evil team. It's still Team Rocket, and you would have thought like with them introducing Spheal, Swinub, and Aron, you'd probably be getting like Team Magma and Aron now. Team Magma and what? Oh god, Aqua. Sorry, I don't know where Aron came from.
I mean, Generation 1 has always been exceedingly popular with the fan base, and I guess if you're going to introduce Team Magma and Team Aqua, there's probably got to be some story behind it, because they made a bit of a story around the whole Team Rocket Go. Are they called Team Rocket Go or Team Go Rocket?
Go Rocket, yeah.
Team Go Rocket, that's it. And they've obviously put a lot of effort into all the content, with the balloons and the
like
battles
new characters, original characters.
Yeah,
as well,
exactly. Yeah. And I think that's quite nice. And if they're going to put Team Aqua and Team Magma into the game, it would be nice to see that same level of effort. I wouldn't just want them to put them in for the sake of it. And if that means rather the plan is rather stick with Team Rocket and just keep evolving Team Rocket into a more and more villainous team, that's not a bad thing.
No, I can see that. I just would have thought they would. In terms of like content itself in Pokemon Go, at some point they're going to have to introduce more characters and stuff like that, you'd think.
Yeah, I mean, let's hope that it's not Team Plasma who tell you to release all your Pokemon, because that's nicer for the Pokemon. But, we'll see how we go.
Nathan says headcanon Giovanni in Go is the same Giovanni from Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. So alternative Giovanni in that case, who...
I really like, and that's true of Pokemon Masters as well. I actually really like that the different dimension Giovanni is becoming the canon Giovanni in most things, because I think he's a far more interesting I think a supervillain who succeeded is a far more interesting foe than a supervillain who failed, gave up, and disappeared into nothing.
Yeah, I guess. The other thing during this event is that there's 50% hash distance on your eggs. So that's happy days for everybody. And yeah, that is.
Would you say that's happy days for everybody?
Oh yes, give me more puns. Apart from that, there's going to be spotlight hours. So February 2nd is Ekans. February 9th is Miltank, which I'll be doing. February 16th is Love Disc, and February 23rd is Pikachu. So spotlight days
they're
are
doing
basically
Love Disc for Halloween, for Valentine's.
Exactly. So spotlight hours are like 1 hour like catching things. I think it's either Tuesday or Wednesday of every month. I think it's Tuesdays. Yeah, Tuesdays of every week of the month, where different Pokemon will show up with a different modifier. So Ekans has got 2 times Evolution Experience, 2 times Catch Stardust with Miltank, 2 times Catch Experience with Love Disc, and 2 times Catch Candy with Pikachu on the 23rd.
Go catch them all.
Gotta catch them all. And the next thing I would like to talk about with Pokemon Go is that the first research breakthrough reward has been announced for February, and that's going to be Snorlax, and they'll be lasting till March. From February 9th to February 20th, you'll be encountering Latios and Latias in 5-star raids. Mega Pidgeot, Ampharos, and new Mega Evolved Pokemon will be in Mega Raids, so who knows what that's going to be. And from February 20th to March 1st, you'll encounter Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres, and Mewtwo in 5-star raids, along with Mega Venusaur, Mega Charizard X and Y, and no Mega Blastoise mentioned here, but they'll be in Mega Raids during then. And that's probably to celebrate. There's, I think, a Generation 1 task there, and there's also like the anniversary, like we said, happening.
Cool.
And there'll be more events like Year of the Ox event, there'll be a Valentine's event, and there'll be a Kanto themed celebration and raid day at the end of February. So yeah, more details on that later, so maybe in the next episode.
Remember, stay safe, stay home.
Stay safe, stay home, don't be baited by the shiny Pokemons. It's not worth it. We shall move on. So you want to be a Pokemon Masters? It's Pokemon Masters time. Yay. This is genuinely my favorite part of the show, honestly speaking.
Where do you want to start?
We'll start with the Champion Stadium.
Yeah, so the final week of the Johto Elite Four is this week. You've got a couple of hours left to finish it if you've not done it yet. Boy, did we stream Champion Stadium on Friday. If you want to go and watch that for some tips. Kamale struggled, it's fair to say. Hang
on. RNG screwed me over hard.
It did. RNG did screw you over.
Because you did the exact same thing I did, and somehow you passed it first time round.
Yeah, I did. It took you like 30 attempts, but hey.
Yes. It was supposed to be like half an hour stream, and ended up being like, I looked back on the stream just literally like maybe half an hour ago, and it said an hour and 40 minutes. I'm like, how? Just how?
Fair enough. So yeah, look forward to Blue and the gang coming back next week to the game.
I feel so sorry for Blue.
Kanto Elite Four in Master Mode.
Yeah, he always seems to get bullied, Blue.
Dude, I love Blue. I didn't like Blue until Pokemon Masters, and then he showed up in I don't know.
Yeah,
actually,
he showed up in Let's Go as well in the beginning.
I was going to say Ultra Sun and Moon must have been before Pokemon Masters.
Yes, he did. Yeah, he was.
And he was cool in there as well.
Yeah.
Dude, I like Blue.
Do you have any idea what weaknesses there are tomorrow? I'm not sure myself, to be honest with you.
I don't, but I will find out before we finish this segment.
Okay, cool. But yeah, I'm looking forward to having Kanto Master Mode, because we never got to experience Master Mode with the Kanto people when it first released.
I wonder if I'm going to find it much easier than Johto Master Mode, just because I feel like I've well and truly nailed the Kanto Elite Four battles now.
Yeah, I think once you've got the mechanics down, then it's a case of just tinkering and just figuring out what works best.
Oh,
do you
so
think we'll be able
tomorrow,
to do it straight away? Because, like, do you remember with...
Yeah, because most people have
does
already
it carry,
got the...
Does it carry over?
Yes, it does.
Okay, fair enough.
So next week we are looking at Electric for Lorelei, Psychic for Bruno, Ghost for Agatha, Steel for Lance, and Poison for Blue.
Ooh, that Steel one's going to be interesting, isn't it?
Dude, Lorelei's going to get rinsed.
Yeah. Well, what are you using for Lola? Are you using your usual Helioptile tactic?
Helioptile and Whimsicott.
Heliolisk, sorry. Oh, yeah, you've got... Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, darn. Okay, fair enough.
We'll talk about Whimsicott in a second.
I'm going to move on from that, and we'll talk about... Happy Palentine's Day. Why did they call it Palentine's Day?
Because it's all about celebrating friendships. And Serena and Dawn...
I'm a huge fan of puns, but as far as puns go, that's one I'm like, really?
Okay, so look, I'm not gonna spoil the story. I'm just deciding how much I want to say. I'm not gonna spoil the story, but essentially, and this is on the Twitter and stuff, so it's not a spoiler. This is about celebrating
go for it.
friendships in Pokemon Masters, and Serena and Dawn want to hand out sweets to all of their friends.
That's cool. Yeah, I like it.
That's the story.
I like it. I'm with you now.
And it's the story is it's quite a nice story. It's quite a short story, and then there's two very special finales at the end, which you have to unlock by getting two items. One's called Dawn's Letter. One's called Serena's Letter. From the shop, which you can exchange for some sweets, and then you get a very special, intimate cutscene with Serena and Dawn, respectively.
That's amazing. I just got Serena's letter. Obviously, I focused on her first. I don't know why I said obviously.
Without spoiling it, did you like?
I haven't seen it at all. I've only unlocked it. Yeah.
Tell me when you've seen it. I'm going to be, and then I'll tell you something afterwards, and I'll be very curious to see your reaction.
Okay, cool.
Tell me when you've seen it.
Yeah, I mean, let's just talk about the elephant in the room, which is Dawn. So Dawn is the other character that was revealed as the Palentine's pair. Pair. There we go. Pair's the word I was looking for. 10 points to me. And she comes with Alchemy, which I was really happy about.
Alchemy, and I obviously have seen Alchemy in Sword and Shield, but I didn't realize just how tiny Alchemy was.
I'm happy. I'm happy to see it. Side to side, I'm happy to see it used as a pair, because I don't think we've got too much Gen 8 love in Pokemon Masters just yet, and I think this started to open the floodgates for now with Alchemy now being in there.
Yeah, I mean they've talked about Dynamax coming in August, and I feel like that's going to be the real kickoff for Gen 8 officially.
Yeah,
and we've got Piers coming, I think, imminently.
Have they? Have we?
Maybe, I think.
Okay,
maybe I've seen that from
you've seen something basically, and you're
maybe I've seen something unofficial.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So yeah, we're gonna get Gen 8 pairs soon, which is really interesting.
Yeah, I'm excited for more Gen 8 pairs because I think I think it's time. I think people are ready.
Let's go. Oh, okay. So should we get into talking about these pairs? Because I'm gonna be confessing something, but I was wrong on one aspect.
Go ahead.
And we're going to start with Dawn, because actually this is the one when I looked at her at first I was like, what a waste of gems. And then actually looking back at it, having reading through her grid and whatnot, I'm thinking, actually, she's
people really like Dawn and Alchemy. The first character to have a passive called Ripple Effect, which basically turns your stat moves into AoE stat moves. So Alchemy comes with both Charm and Fake Tears, which means that you can do AoE sharp reductions on attack and AoE sharp reductions on special defense.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, it's a Ripple Effect is Ripple Effect 4, so it's a good chance, which I think is 50%. So it's not a guarantee, but that's still very, very useful.
I mean, that's the same as Venusaur's poisoning ability.
Yeah. And the other thing that Alchemy has, which I think is really good, is a trainer move called House Sweets, which sharply raises an ally's attack and special attack and makes an ally gradually heal itself. So a really good way to not just perk a striker up and give it the missing stats that it might need, but also to give it gradual healing, because if you're regularly using a striker to attack, it should heal fairly quickly if it gets hit by an AoE move or a sync move. So
this is why I love it. It's a secondary, it's not even like a primary tank, it's like a secondary tank. Yes. That can greatly help your team, and it can also buff your team, and that's what I really like about it.
Yeah, and then the two other passives, Power Loving, which basically the more the target stats have been lowered, the more it powers up moves, basically to play alongside the other passive, and Team Wide Awake, which basically prevents your entire team from falling asleep, which is
Really handy.
not all that handy. It's rare that we see AoE sleep anyway, but it's a nice one to have.
Well, I think it's really handy in the fact that it's just there. You know, sometimes you don't have to have like three passives. Sometimes you get like one passive or two passives. So the fact it's just chucked in as a
three
freebie.
passives is definitely handy.
And like we said, she's going to be. I don't think she's going to be a mainstay in your team. She's going to be like a secondary tank for your team, most likely, or like a niche pair you use for a certain stage.
Yeah, I mean, look, AoE special defense drops is a really good enabler in Champion Stadium for a striker who might just need that little bit of extra power.
Charizard, yeah.
To take out a foe in one turn fewer than what you were doing without it. So it's not a bad pair. It's not a bad pair.
And looking at the sort of grid, there's a lot of like refreshes on Dazzling Gleam, Charm, Fake Tears, and House Sweet as well.
Yep. Yeah, I mean it's a nice, all well-rounded sync pair.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing I really like about it is looking at power posture is something that the more the target's attack has been lowered, the more it powers up moves. That can help with your like Dazzling Gleams on top of your passives that you've got. You've got Impose 1, so lowering evasiveness right off the bat, so you don't have to rely on accuracy too much, maybe if you're fighting type pairs. You got Toughen Up 3, which helps your team get defense. First Aid 4, so as we said, if your main tank dies, she's there, she can help out. And like her stats as well are really good when you look at it, because she's got like 206 special defense, so that's pretty good. 360 special attack for a tech pair? How? And like 615 HP and like decent speed at 266. So actually, she's pretty good all round, I'd say.
Yeah, that attack stat is nothing to pass over. It's a decent pair all round. It's certainly not groundbreaking in terms of it being ridiculously powerful, but it is a very, very good enabler for some of the other sync pairs that you might have to just be that much more effective.
Yeah, and I think the last thing to point out is that I think our both consensus is this is a luxury pair rather than a must needed pair. So if you do
absolutely,
pull for her,
unless you are really interested in Dawn's design, and it is 6-star unlocked, you get a sky blue Dawn if you EX this pair. It's a nice one to have.
Awesome. I will move on to the other one, and I want you to tell me your story before I start talking about the technicals. So here she is. It's Serena, Palentine Serena.
Yeah. So I as soon as I saw the stuff for Serena, I was like, I kind of
as soon
really
as you saw Serena, let's get that clear here.
the thing that really did it for me and pushed me over the top is Serena and Whimsicott's passives and grid make it by far and away the most effective fairy type striker we've had in the game by a country mile to date.
As a tech pair.
No disrespect to Valerie.
Yeah.
But Hunter's Instinct, the more the target speed is lowered, the more it powers up moves. And Ramming Speed, the more the user speed has been raised, it powers up moves. So very, very geared around Cotton Spore, which is an AoE speed reducer for your enemies. AoE Stun Spore, thanks to Go Viral 9, Serena's staple, I suppose, now, which turns Stun Spore from a single target attack into an AoE attack. Sugar Rush, which sharply raises the speed of all allied sync pairs, gives you free move on the next attack Whimsicott uses, and also raises its special attack. And then obviously the mainstay for a fairy striker, Moonblast, which is just a decent, powerful move. But the number of multipliers Whimsicott has access to in its grid, it's got Cakewalk, it's got Inertia, it's got obviously Hunter's Instinct and Ramming Speed as staples, it's got Paralysis Synergy. Like this sync pair hits very hard, and I've had a huge amount of fun using it to.
You got it after 3,000 gems.
Yeah, so I did.
Wow.
I said to myself that I was going to do 2 single pulls, and then I would stop because I was saving for the 18-month anniversary. I did my 2 single pulls. I got Rourke, who I get he's my 3-star pair that I just get all the time because he hates me, and then I got another 3-star pair that was rubbish, and I was like, right, let me quickly add up the gems that are coming. And I was like, I can probably get away with a times 11. I did a times 11. I got a 3/5 Dawn. And then I think on my 9th pair, I got Serena and Whimsicott. And I was literally over the moon. And I've had so much fun, like building different teams, using Serena Whimsicott for the full force battles, not just the fairy type one that we've got with this event, but also the one from May's event, and using Whimsicott to clear that as well. So it's a very competent striker. It does need a bit of support in the team to just boost its defense a little, but it hits very, very hard, even on its own.
It's
Really good
it's a nuke, so you want it for shorter battles, not necessarily for longer battles. I don't think. If you're going to use it for longer battles, you probably want it to be the secondary pair in your team rather than the primary pair. I'd say
it honestly performed perfectly as the only striker in a full force battle.
Now, what I will want to point out there is obviously these full force battles are designed to show off the new pairs.
Yeah, but I was using it on May's one, which was the fire type one, not
okay. Fair enough.
So I was clearing May's full force.
But you were using Como in that as well, weren't you? Or were you not using Como?
No. So I was using. I used blue. I want to say Sabrina and Whimsicott, and then I did blue and Clement and Whimsicott, and I cleared it with both of them.
I don't know. Look, the thing is, with you're using blue though.
Oh yeah, I've done it with Skylar as well. Yeah. I've done battles with Skylar and someone else and Whimsicott.
I definitely say it's a solid pair for like maybe fairy battles, and then like maybe a secondary pair for most other battles. I'd probably hesitate to say.
Listen, it hits hard. It does take a bit of setup to hit hard, but once it's set up, it hits hard.
But yeah, I really like this pair, and I can't really say much more than what you've said because you've basically said everything I wanted to say. So thank you very much, Hamid.
I mean, it's interesting when I guess we don't have the luxury of being able to afford to pull every sync pair.
No.
But the difference that I'm able to talk about when we have a sync pair versus when we don't is crazy.
I'm very jealous, is all I'm putting out there.
I completely understand, because if the roles were reversed, dude, I'd be so mad.
Very jealous.
I am very tempted
to get it, but I'm going to wait for the letter and see what they say in the letter.
Yeah.
Because we know there's a new Poke Fair coming. But what I will say with this pair is, I think this pair is worth pulling for. But at the same time, we've got an 18-month anniversary coming up, so try leave it to the last minute if you can.
Yeah, if there wasn't a big anniversary coming up, if this was March, it would probably be worth pulling for, because there's not a huge amount worth saving your gems for at the moment. But with the anniversary coming up, it's definitely worth prioritizing your gems for that. I got very lucky, and I would never have gone to 36k on this banner, because the anniversary pair seems, from everything DNA are saying, to be really, really strong.
I don't know if you covered off the moves, but Moonblast, Stun Spore, Cotton Spore, and Sugar Rush, which raises attack and speed and free move. Pretty cool. Stats at like 5-star max potential. You've got a special attack of 400 and speed of 400. So like defense of 230 and special defense of 207. So, a good pair.
My only criticism of the sync pair is that it does not have unique VA.
Okay.
So Dawn does. Dawn has new lines and new things to say. This sync pair does not.
I think that's about it for Pokemon Masters. Is there anything else you want to add to this conversation?
Don't think so.
We're going to move on to the next segment. Why did you get it in one? Like, guys, the last two seasonal pairs, I've had to spend like 40 and 36k combined to get my pair from a selector scout, and here's Amit, Mr. Good old Amit gets his seasonal pair, not only a seasonal pair but another 5-star as well in an 11.
To be fair, Serena. So I didn't tell you this bit, but when I opened the game, you know how there's a trainer who says good morning to you every day.
Mm-hmm.
It was Serena who said good morning, and I was like, that's a good omen. I feel like this is a good sign.
And I guess she was the one that got you back into the game, so like it just had to be.
Serena's still the sync pair that I like. I still have the badge, the 4-star badge from that Serena dessert party event as my main badge on my profile and stuff. So you know, I feel like it's all justified.
I'm moving on to the next segment before I start crying. This is merch to do about nothing. We call it merch to do about nothing because it's a pun about merch. Are you happy, Amit?
Dude, I am so happy. We now have a bit of a leak. It's not an official confirmation, but someone has basically
pause you there. I love how without me even getting the image on screen, you can read what I'm gonna be moving to with just that little hint.
I made the connection. I made the connection.
I love it.
So we have a preview really of what's coming for the McDonald's Pokemon collaboration. There are rumors flying around that it may start on February 9th. It may start on the 25th of February. I think it's probably going to differ country to country as well. But we have 25 TCG cards, and you'll get 4 of those rather than the usual one that you would get from a McDonald's giveaway. It's all 24 starters plus Pikachu that make up 25 cards. Some of them look to be the first ever prints of those cards. So I can see the Poplio card is the original design from Sun and Moon when it first released. I don't think all of the other cards are. I was trying to get a look at Charmander, and it doesn't look like it's the original Charmander. Or maybe it's just a updated design of the original Charmander. So maybe it is the original picture, but it's hard to tell from the angles that we've got. But super exciting. So you get 4 playing cards, and then what's really cool is you also get a little frame, which is the perfect size to display a trading card. So you can collect Pikachu-themed frames and display your favorite Pokemon trading cards in them. And I'm definitely, if I don't get to go to McDonald's and get some of these, going to pick them up on eBay because I love the idea of having a nice way to display Pokemon cards and keeping them safe. And these frames look like the perfect solution.
God, I just know how expensive they're going to be as well. But I think I might be doing the same as you.
Yeah, so I'm definitely hoping to get to McDonald's. And there's also sticker books and little, I think, like postcards or laminate cards that you can put your stickers on. So you can absolutely have a sticker over time.
Yeah, it's cool that they're not just doing like TCG. There's other stuff as well.
Yeah, and looking at that sticker book, I mean, there's some obviously it looks very starter themed, so all the pictures look to be of starters. But you seem to get like a nice little sticker book, and I think it's a nice little collection. And what I'm really pleased about is that it's not just more plastic toys, and I like the plastic toys. Believe me, I've got more than enough of them. But I like that they're doing something slightly different for this anniversary. So
now Nathan asks a question. He says, "I wonder how this will work in the pandemic. As we know, the UK is most likely going to be in a lockdown."
It's a really good question, and something I did look into. A lot of the McDonald's events, and McDonald's have got a Top Trumps themed event going on at the moment, are just running as normal. So either you're going to have to Uber Eats, Deliveroo, order remotely your McDonald's, or you may have to go in store if they do open up again at some point later in February.
I don't think there's a chance in hell.
But it looks like this event will go on irrespective of kind of what situations various countries are in terms of lockdown. As I say, there are rumours around the 9th of February or the 25th of February. This leak came to us from the US, so it might be that those dates are for that, but do expect there to be sometime soon more confirmation from the McDonald's Corporation on exactly what's coming.
Cool. I wanted to actually move on to this little thing, which is this Pokemon Snap pre-order bonus. And I think this is one that's I don't know if it was Walmart, but somewhere in the US they're doing a pre-order bonus where you get this magnetic frame.
It's Target.
Yeah, Target. There we go. Thank you very much. I actually haven't checked if like we've got the physical version in the UK yet, because it wasn't here for quite some time. I'm going to check. So fill time for a second.
No, I'm not necessarily sure that we do. But what confused me about this, I'm assuming that this is not a physical frame, right? It's a frame that you can use in the game for your pictures in the game. And I couldn't quite work out. I mean, maybe I should have a look at the Target giveaway. But you basically get a frame. It's a cute frame. It's got a Pokeball in the corner, the new Pokemon Snap logo, and a little aperture camera, which is, I think, really quite nice.
This is physical. It's a magnetic physical thing.
That's nice.
And I'd like to also report that the Pokemon Snap pre-orders are now live on Amazon finally. It's £50. Fantastic.
There you go. Does Amazon have the same pre-order bonus?
There's no pre-order bonus at the moment.
Wow. Well, shout out to the US getting their special stuff.
I'm sure Game or something will maybe get the similar treatment. Who knows?
Yeah, Game normally get the good stuff in the UK. Or Smith's Toys.
Oh, God, Smith's Toys. I rely on you for that kind of stuff.
I definitely don't have Smith Toys bookmarked and refreshing it just in case that Pikachu V bundle comes up.
Oh, okay, because you've okay. So we both ordered the Pikachu V
$4.99 for shipping. Game, F you. $4.99 for shipping in this day and age.
It's very rare when you're tempted to swear. Wow, that's really annoyed you.
I said F. I didn't swear.
Hey,
but
look,
still.
As I said, like it's a lot cheaper than anywhere else you're going to get at the moment. That's got it available.
True. They're being resold for like 50 to 80 quid on eBay.
I was just happy we found it. That's what I'm happy about. I wanted to quickly point this out. Like every time I've been to Japan, there's been a store where I go to. I think it's called Perfect, and they always have these really cool ties inspired by animes and stuff like that.
Oh, that's nice.
Now this is a different company called the Marugo Co. Comes from Co for company, I guess. But they've got these Pikachu and like Gen 2 ties, and they've got other ties as well. Relating to the top 10 Pokemon. I think that that references back to that poll that was done.
The Google poll.
Yeah, so they've got a lot of different Pokemon ties, and they look fantastic. And these should be coming out in February 2021. I think towards the end of February 2021. It's one that I'll have to look on eBay and maybe contact some Japanese sellers about getting imported.
I was very, very keen on the silver, and then I saw the dark blue, and I can't decide. The nice thing about the silver one is that on the back it's got additional little Pokemon on it, whereas the other ones don't. Or maybe it doesn't. You just can't see it.
You can't see it on here. Yeah, they do.
Okay.
They do.
Well, then maybe my favorite is the dark blue.
Yeah, I'm going to go for the dark blue with the Johto starters. I like how they're presented. And also, these are only the back shots. The front shots as well have like very subtle Pokemon hints in there as well. So it's not too overbearing. But yeah, you know me. I love me a tie-in. So when I saw this, I thought, let me bring it on the show.
Love me a tie, love me a chai. Am I right?
Oh, there we go. That's me. He's got me in a sentence. I've got to put that as my Twitter description now. Talking of descriptions, have you heard of this movie about like two giant monsters fighting each other?
Transformers.
Let's say one's a monkey, the other's like
a dinosaur-esque thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, what if they were Pikachus?
Godzilla, right?
Yeah. What if they were Pikachus?
Whoa! Look at that.
So these Pikachus come from a company called Hardshell Studios, and you can pre-order them now. I think they're roughly $100 each. But yeah, there's a Pikachu cosplaying as King Kong and a Pikachu cosplaying as Godzilla, and wow, they look fantastic.
This is so pernickety. I wish that it was G-Max Pikachu for the sense of scale. That would have been really cool. But these are still awesome. Don't get me wrong, like they're lovely designs.
It's not like you should be picking details out.
True. But in my head, I was like, when you said it was going to be like Godzilla and King Kong, I was like, G-Max Pikachu cosplaying. That would be awesome. But this is still very cool. I really like the Godzilla one, actually, I must say.
Yeah, I think the Godzilla one's probably the pick out of the two.
Pikachu's expression is very fitting.
Yeah, and I just like the kind of like the metal shell look of the Godzilla at the top as well.
Yeah, it's nice. Very cool. Very cool.
Just another one. We saw like a version of this earlier on in one of the episodes that we did, but this is the Figma Marnie, and so these are all the little other items that are going to come with the Figma figure, so you can like swap them out, give her different expressions and stuff like that.
What did they do to her face?
What?
What did they do to her face?
Oh, yeah. So you can essentially swap them out and whatnot. You got two different Morpekos as well. This has come to the Pokemon Center in September, and it'll cost around. I think usually these cost about £40 to £50 UK money, so about 6,000 yen. You're probably looking at for one of these. But I thought I'd just bring it up around here.
That's nice figure.
This one is for a friend of the show, McKenna May, and there's a Galarian Mr. Mime, a Galarian Mr. Rhyme, and a Frostmoth coming to Pokemon centers in Japan in February. So these are plushies of them, and I thought I'd just bring it up because again, it's cool merch. Cool merch.
God, could you imagine waking up with a plushie Mr. Mime staring at you?
McKenna's here in the chat. Oh god, you put a picture of Mr. Mime and Mr. Rhyme, and she's there. She's just there.
But could you imagine waking up and just seeing that face, like, staring at you? That's so creepy.
Yeah, no, I couldn't do it myself. Like, I used to, like, hide things behind, like, maybe, like, a cloth or something like that whilst I'm sleeping, because I'm like, I don't want to wake up to this. I just don't want to wake up to this.
Which would be creepier, though, staring at Mr. Rhyme's belly or staring at his moustache?
Mr. Rhyme's belly, 100%.
fair enough.
100%. Have you said that? Betty looks like it's got some plans for you, and I'm not looking forward to it. With that, I'm going to move on quickly to this last thing. So, do you remember the Pokemon Company said that they're doing various collaborations with companies?
They are. Shout out to Katy Perry.
Boom. Well, this comes from Levi's. It looks like a shirt.
I saw this and I showed it to Sophie, and I was like, I literally was going to say that this is probably the most bright and colourful piece of Pokemon merch I've ever seen. But
it's outrageously bright, isn't it?
Almost too like bold and colourful. And I was expecting Sophie to say it was disgusting, and she was like, "No, that's actually really cool." So
McKenna says we're gonna find out, in reference to the Mr. Rhyme thing, we're gonna find out what it is when I pre-order them.
Yeah.
God bless her, doing God's work there.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no, they just literally tweeted this out and saying soon. So I don't know what's happening, but I guess they're also going to drop this in February like everything else is. So
yeah, it looks like a denim jacket. It's cool. I like that they've got lots of Pokemon. Hopefully, all of them, maybe. I can certainly see Psyduck and Flareon and Meowth and Oddish. So it's nice that they are branching out beyond the core.
Boom.
Yeah, I was surprised. I was interested that Togepi was on there because it looks like a Gen 1 celebration.
Well, it's so synonymous with Gen 1, isn't it, because of the anime?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of cheating, but fair enough.
Yeah. Okay, we'll move on from merch to do about nothing if you've got nothing else to show off.
Not for merch, no.
Okay.
Everything.
Now, podcast form has been feeling a bit lonely, so he contacted me and said he's got a news roundup for us this time. So this is the podcast form news roundup. And Cramorant, what is this Cramorant doing on my screen?
There is a Cramorant event coming next weekend to Sword and Shield to celebrate the new upcoming movie Secrets of the Jungle. So if 500,000 people defeat Cramorant in a raid, then you will get... And I think you have to beat Cramorant to be eligible for this. 1 Flame Orb, 1 Toxic Orb, and 1 Light Ball, which are very, very hard to get in Sword and Shield, so well worth taking part. And if I think it's 1 million people complete the challenge, then you get a gold bottle cap, 3 silver bottle caps, and 3 pearl strings.
So pretty decent if you beat it, then, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely... recommend you take part, if not just for the 3 orbs, because they are very hard to come by. And if 1 million people do it, there's an extra perk for you as well.
Well, make sure you remind me, because you know I'll forget.
Yeah, bring your electric types. It's flying and water type, so electric type moves will hit nice and hard.
Well, why don't you bring your special Zero Aura that you got last time we had something like this?
Yes, very true.
And yeah, we'll move on to the next segment.
I've got more Sword and Shield news.
And we'll rewind to the last segment. Hit me.
No, it's an exciting time for Sword and Shield with Season 8 going live.
Okay,
and
we'll move on
Pokemon.
to the next segment.
I've got other things to say.
Okay,
and Legendary Pokemon now being...
go for it. I'm going to sit back now.
That's fine. So Legendary Pokemon now being available to use in competitive battles in Sword and Shield, which is super exciting and going to open up a lot of different... opportunities in the game for strategies that we've not seen before, because obviously a lot of legendary Pokemon have abilities and movesets that are much harder to come by. It's also the first time that we'll see Calyrex, and that includes the 2 forms of Calyrex being eligible in competitive play, and kind of lots to look forward to. It's a shame that mythical Pokemon are still banned. It would be great to see Zeraora, Mew, Celebi, and the Guard get to have part in it too, but that's where we are. There was also quite a big update to Pokemon Home recently, which banned a large number of players who had illegal Pokemon in their accounts. They've updated the terms of service for Pokemon Home, so do look out for some of those bans coming into effect. If you have been doing anything illegal, and it may be worth releasing Pokemon that are obviously hacked or not true, because the Pokemon Company have stated that TCP will be making further bans, both temporary and permanent. No refunds will be issued to anyone who has purchased the premium license for Pokemon Home, and these measures are basically in place and will be rerun more regularly and more restrictions being put in place. So do keep an eye out on your Pokemon Home account, particularly if you've done a lot of wonder trading or mystery trading, and have a lot of hacked or illegal Pokemon. The Pokemon Company
I think it's really good that they're finally
cracking
tackling that, because I think in recent times when I've done some wonder trades, I've been getting a lot of obviously hacked and illegal Pokemon.
Yeah, it was a big Pokemon. It was a big problem when Sword and Shield first came out, because there were a lot of dodgy Pokemon.
Yeah. Well, it was more when I think sort of the DLC came out, and that's when people's game files were starting to get corrupted and whatnot by Wonder Trades, and you couldn't connect online to Wonder Trade if you got this certain Pokemon.
Yeah, if someone else had sent you a dodgy Pokemon,
yeah.
you couldn't connect online, even though it wasn't your fault.
Yeah, no, that's really good to hear. And just quickly want to ask, in terms of the VGC sort of stuff, are you motivated to go back to it? Because I know you kind of dropped off for a little while.
I really want to, and I feel like I should. It's just having the time.
Yeah.
And I got a fair bit going on at the moment. So we'll see. Maybe I'll get back into it for a little bit. Maybe I'll just play casually for a while, but we shall see.
Cool. We're doing really good for time, so let us move on to our next segment. Where the Helioptile is Pokemon Sleep.
Right. So here's the thing. Last week we talked about technology that Pokemon Sleep probably is going to be utilizing, and they're probably just going to slap a Helioptile or Pikachu logo on it, and that's job done. But this week we found an opportunity to potentially test Pokemon Sleep.
What?
Yeah. So courtesy of the guys over, I'm just pulling up the website to get the URL correct, but courtesy of the guys over at Sleep Research, I just want to get the website right because you will all want to go and sign up.
What you're telling me is that Pokemon Sleep is going into its beta phase with this?
Yes. So courtesy, here we go, sleepjunkie.com. So courtesy of Sleep Junkie, you can be paid £3,000 to participate in a sleep trial.
God, this sounds too good to be true.
Which I can only assume is to test Pokemon Sleep, because there is no other sleeping technology in the world that's worth testing. And you can get paid £3,000 for it. So I'm signing up. I love to sleep. And you should too.
Well, I love my chai. I also love my sleep. And I really want Pokemon Sleep. So I'm happy to announce that I'll be signing up to this as well.
You do have to be a US resident, but
never mind. I'll continue doing the podcast in that case.
But yeah, if you're in the US and you want to take part, who knows? And if you get to test out Pokemon Sleep, let us know what it's like. Let them know that we sent you, and we get commission off everyone who signs up.
I don't think that's strictly true.
We definitely don't get commission.
But hey, just leak us the Pokemon Sleep stuff and we'll call it even. But with that, we shall move on to our next segment. Okay, I'm going to get this right this time. It's the unknown fact of the week.
It is the unknown fact of the week.
What's the unknown fact of the week?
The unknown fact of the week this week is, if you visit Chichester in Pokemon Sword and Shield, you can find a Pokestop.
Ba-bong! So
on the left of the screen, if you're watching the video podcast, is the Pokestop. It's on the east side of Chichester as you come down the stairs towards the baths.
Yep.
And it's homage, really, in Sword and Shield to the success of Pokemon Go. And I had never noticed it and never realized it when I was playing Sword and Shield. And I just thought I'd point it out. Very interestingly, this Pokestop exists in real life. So this Pokestop can be found in Bath near, and I'm going to get the name wrong, so I'm just going to pull up the name. It's the Putterley Bridge.
Okay.
I'm saying that badly.
Yeah.
Which is a real bridge in the UK in real life in Bath, and there is a Pokestop there for the bridge, and you can spin that Pokestop in real life, and you can spin it in Sword and Shield. So it was just something that had completely passed me by, and I just thought I would let people know it's there. It's a cool little.
I thought it was quite curious to see a Pokestop in Chichester. I never really thought about it, and the fact that this is actually an homage to a real life Pokestop in Bath, where this is based off of, It's crazy.
Yeah, and so the design of the bridge in Sword and Shield is based on Palentine Bridge, which is the bridge in Bath. So it's cool. It's nice that they found a little Easter egg for Sword and Shield, and for those of you who didn't know, that's the bridge in real life that it's based on.
Fan freaking tastic. Well, that's been another episode of the PokeRamble Podcast. I've been Kumail, your host, and I've been
Amit.
He's been Amit, and where can they find us?
You can find us every Sunday evening as we record the podcast live on twitch.tv/KumailH. We normally start the stream at 7:30 p.m. GMT. And come hang out with us, come talk to us. Thank you to everyone, as always, who've joined us today. We had quite a few in the chat, which is always really nice because it means we get to talk to you guys as well. Or if you can't join us live, you can find us on YouTube. You can find us on all your good podcast service. Just search PokeRamble Podcast, and you can check out the episodes.
Excellent. And then, what do we do on Fridays?
On Fridays, we do a Champion Stadium stream where we basically, it's a bit like an off-topic podcast where we kind of just hang out together and I coach Kumail through the Champion Stadium challenge.
Whilst I turn my hair out.
Kumail tears his hair out, and we talk about all sorts of off-topic things, not always Pokemon related as well. So if you want to come hang out with us on a Friday evening, normally around 6 o'clock in the evening, we GMT, UK time, we do a Champion Stadium stream, which is lots of fun. And hopefully very soon we will have a little special stream, and I think Kumail hinted about it a little earlier, where we'll be looking at the Pikachu V Shining Fates box that we've both pre-ordered.
Yes. I'm hoping my new camera comes before then, but yeah, fingers crossed on that.
Super exciting.
With that, again, I've been your host, Kumail. He's been Amit, and you can find us on the PokeRamble.com. Until next week, take care of yourself and stay inside.
Bye, everyone.